Hello, everybody. This is Dr. Bill Williams on the Influencers Podcast, coming to you live from Atlanta, Georgia. And today, Monday, starting off a great week. Big things coming up in the world of IT and particularly ONPASSIVE. So I thought it'd be very appropriate today that I bring on one of our outstanding founding members of ONPASSIVE, Abdi Alasso from Australia by way of Somalia. He's an international leader and has been involved since the very beginning. And I want you to welcome to our Influencers Podcast, Mr. Abdi Alasso. Hello, greetings. Wake up and smell the coffee.
Good day, Dr. Bill. Thank you for having me. It's a pleasure to have you here. Thank you. I appreciate it for inviting me today.
I think you probably skipped your coffee. It's already like 11 o'clock at night where you are, right?
I have too many coffees always, Dr. Bill.
It's great to have you on, and I'm glad we're able to connect around the world through live streaming. We're on LinkedIn, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, StreamYard, all live right now. And we have many people tuned in from maybe 200 countries around the world because you and I both are part of ONPASSIVE. You and I both are really looking forward to some good news today. So why don't we start off? And I want you to kind of tell your story. Tell people about how you got involved with ONPASSIVE, where you were, who you're surrounded by. And it's a great story.
Yeah, excellent. Thank you, Dr. Bill. Yeah, it's a long story for me. I came to Australia as a young man back in the early 90s. I was always a man of himself. I lean everything through everyday life. So I was just doing like normal work, like everyday life, and then I came to realize that working those day-to-day jobs and exchanging your time for money, it was not somewhere where anyone would succeed. And my ambition and my dreams, it was totally realizing that it's not quite right what I'm doing. So I started looking at the laptop lifestyle, and it took me a little while to come where I am now.
You got involved with IT business early, right?
Yes, I have done a lot of different things like affiliate marketing and email marketing and all that. But yeah, it wasn't as was promised. We all know about that. We all did. Everybody. But yeah, well, I'm glad that my journey took me to ONPASSIVE. So I'm in a good place now. So finally, I realized, what I was looking for is actually in my hand now, and I'm glad of that. I did that. That vision things that you always never give up, always look for something, and that's where I am today. And I'm glad I'm part of this movement. It's really exciting.
Yeah, tell people how you kind of vetted the story of ONPASSIVE.
Yeah, the story on passive, as I was previously, as I said, doing some other things online. We all depend on those social medias and digital, affiliation. So while I was just looking around the internet, I came across you talking about Dr. Bill about ONPASSIVE, and as you remember, I was just straight, because I knew because previously what I was, making out of living was something physical, something physical, or you need, those people to come around you. So you gotta have really a lot of people. Those kind of we all know that the you know the affiliate and recruiting and MLM stories that always comes up. You need to have someone who really does what you do, someone who really be able to replicate for your stories. So when I saw your post, and it was about the product of this company was about digital product, SaaS product, I realized, because it's not something that happened before. I knew it was something that how can a company with its IT.
Got a frozen screen, Dewey? Yes, keep on going. It's like the digital divide has happened between US and Australia right now. So hopefully it'll come back in just a moment. Sunspots are acting up. Aliens are invading from outer space, perhaps. Hope we haven't lost Australia. Well, Abdi will be back in a minute. This is not uncommon in international live streaming that we have an outage and then people come and go. So I'm looking forward to improved telecommunications. I'm looking forward to a better system. This is StreamYard. And what we're learning today is that all systems fail. When they fail, you got to make do with what you have. Good things are on the horizon, though. We have better systems in the making, things that will be more predictable, more reliable, far better quality video, quality audio. And that one thing that I'm talking about, of course, right now, the future is OConnect. And we're looking forward to the release of the OConnect pretty soon. When that comes out for us to use on a large scale basis, we're going to have no more use for StreamYard, no more use for Zoom, no more use for Meeting, no more use for many of the products that are out there in the live streaming arena. Right now, we're in the last days of using those products before OConnect comes out with the digital version. That's the one that's great for iPhones and other smartphones as an app. So we're looking forward to that. So hopefully we'll get Abdi back on here. We'll get him going again. Let him tell his story, what's going on. I would imagine there's a good chance his battery on his laptop ran out. What do you think? He'll come back. If he doesn't, we'll just continue with another day with Abdi. But Abdi is unique in that he vetted the ONPASSIVE thing over a couple of weeks period of time. I talked to him initially in the year 2020, I think, and he came in and was one of the first people that joined me from Australia. And he was originally from, of course, Somalia. When he got involved, he started talking to people in Somalia, in Canada, in the UK. And so many people around the world have joined ONPASSIVE because Abdi is kind of like one of the first from Somalia to hear about it and get involved. And there's a great diaspora spreading out of people from Somalia because they've had a civil war. Civil war drives people away from a country that don't want to be involved in the fighting. And that's what's happened to many of the people. They've come to the U.S. and they've come to Canada, Australia, and many other countries around the world. And so the diaspora is coming back together, learning more about ONPASSIVE, and is a great unifying factor among all the people of Somalia who have banded together to rally around and support each other in ONPASSIVE. ONPASSIVE gives people hope and opportunity to have a business that they can do independently on their own. And that's the great difficulty when you're a refugee from a country, the great diaspora that goes out in the world. You don't have roots, you don't have connections, you don't have anything in the new country a lot of times. And so everybody that is out of their country displaced, as you might say, they look for something to do to support themselves. And when you can have the opportunities like something just like ONPASSIVE to lock your hands around and hold on to, there's a lot of hope involved. There's a lot of promise involved, and it allows freedom. It allows the concept that you could bring other people along, invite other people to participate in any country, in any part of the world. It's not located in one place where you have to say, move to a place to do the job. No, it's all online. And so it's a very interesting and lucrative business for those people. If you can, those kind of things are useful for people all around the world. I'm trying to communicate with Abdi, and he says he can't be reached. I'll ask him if he can log in again. And if not, we'll just get him back on another day or another hour. Things like that can happen. Anytime you've got a electronic medium and the internet, it could go down. Batteries run out of juice. Wi-Fi goes down. Trouble ensues, right? My guess is that once he got logged out, he can't get logged back in, but I don't know why that would be. It's a little unusual. So that's a story of Abdi and how he got involved in ONPASSIVE. That's a story of his network around the world. He's got a strong group of people in the UK and Canada and Somalia and Australia. So some of the main places that people from Somalia have gone to, I'm sure, and maybe other countries too. So if you're part of ONPASSIVE family, you do know people all around the world. You do know people in every country. We have 200 countries that are represented in ONPASSIVE, at least that many. And in some countries, it's tens of thousands. Some is hundreds of thousands. Some is 5 or 10. So I've got people that have joined me from little small islands in the South Pacific. People that have joined me from countries as far away as Indonesia, people in Haiti, in South America, all around Europe, of course, many countries in Africa, Australia, Singapore. So it's quite a few number of countries that people have joined us from. And one of the most interesting stories we have is the country of Papua New Guinea. 1 or 2 people from Papua New Guinea caught the vision, and that vision spread to some influential people in ONPASSIVE, and it caught the imagination that a country that a lot of people had not heard of would actually join. So, hey, good news, Abdi's back. Hey, we missed you. Glad you're back.
I don't know how long this is gonna last because internet. I think it's my internet is blinding up. Dr. Bill, it's buffering. I can see. It was my file. It definitely was my side. I think.
Buffering.
So I think, yeah. So I hope it doesn't happen again. Let's continue to this. So I found you, and when I found you, I knew I was excited. I was excited because I finally know I found my dream, and this was the last thing that I was looking for, and I'm glad I did jump in.
The last thing is always the best thing.
Exactly.
Well, I'm glad you got back here. I was doing some kibitzing and talking about your background and the fact that you lead a international diaspora of Somali all around the world, and you were one of the first Somalis to ever hear about ONPASSIVE and get in. So tell us a little bit about what motivates you internally to keep pushing forward and building this thing and increasing your network and talking about it. And I even want you to get into the ADH at some point.
Yeah. Well, 80 something's new, but yeah, we to get that down. What really motivated me to push it forward was because really it's actually human nature. When you know something good, when you know something that valuable, you have to share. You have to share. As we also know that now the whole thing that our CEO is building, this is to share the wealth. So in this sense, there was no one in the world that need more than my Somalian people. So I was always in the previous businesses, I was always skeptical who is able to do this, what I'm doing, because not all digital or affiliate or network marketing, whatever you want to do online, not everybody is able to do. Soon as I found out this is an automated business, all done for you, I knew that, I have to make sure that I spring my win, share out, and make sure my loud is here as far as the Gulf of Aden. So I was really really mean to do that, and it wasn't straight away. It was something that took me decision that took me for a little while, because we all know some people not quite really get how you feel inside, how honest you are. So, and there's always those negative mindsets, people with negative mindset, the naysayers. We all know that. So I'm glad that I took the action and I found someone who's willing to come and join us. And today we have a founding members as well as affiliates who recently joined, over 4,000 people in Somalia community around the globe.
That's fantastic. And let's see, who is somebody you're working closely with right now, or that's outside of Australia that you have spent some time mentoring?
Personally, me, you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, as I said before, I'm always been a street learner. I self-educated myself. I don't have any degrees, but I have the mindset and I can see things. I can see what's coming and I can visualize that, whether it's something that works out. Apart from you, Dr. Bill, I'm grateful about your leadership and your mentorship as well. But other than that, really, I don't have a mentor personally. I never had one. There was a gentleman that I used to work with before on the other businesses, but we just parted separately. But I do educate myself. I always try to learn new things, and I read more, and I just self-educate myself. I always willing to learn, those kind of things. I'm sort of like basically a self-motivator, or self-mentor kind of thing.
Gotcha. Hey, ONPASSIVE has a lot of sayings, and Ash is great for quotes and things. Let's share with the world some of our favorite mottos and quotes, things that people can sink their teeth into. Perhaps if they've never heard of ONPASSIVE, they want to know what's it all about. What would you say are some of your favorite mottos and quotes of ONPASSIVE?
Well, the motives of ONPASSIVE is so many. Our CEO have so many, but the mottos of that I use, you have to take action. Jump out of the fence. Those little skepticals. But the mottos here is you have to really give empowerment and willing to learn new things. Never scared of trying new things. All those kind of things is the mottos of what I always engage, and what I saw from within the community. They're really willing to learn, and I'm willing to do that part of my side. Apart from that, ONPASSIVE's motto is very clear. It is always giving back to the people, impacting humanities, sharing the wealth, as I said before, and also, give that time freedom. We know when humans get the time and the financial aspect, when you unstuck, we enable us. If when you get enabled, it's like our big mind can create really a lot of things. So the mottos of ONPASSIVE is, you have to show up. 80% of showing up is success. The success is 80% of showing up. So we're showing up. Our community are showing up, and we're all excited to take that. The mission and the core and the vision of our CEO and ONPASSIVE all to the Horn of Africa and globally.
What does it mean to you when we say we're in it to win it? If you're in it, you win it.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, you have to be in it to win it. Means like You have to participate. You have to show up. You have to engage. I mean, I've seen the last couple of days, one of the leaders was saying, we have to participate on this contest that was going on, and the whole thing about ONPASSIVE is YouTube and what's happening. That is the smallest thing that someone can do. That's the smallest things, rather than creating content, going live every day, doing a podcast and all that. We know not many people. That's why we say it's 100% hands-free. That's why I share the vision with my people. So those who can speak English and have a tech side of things and able to share, present the content, or do interviews, or educate others. We have some Somali leaders who are doing that, but there are a majority of them who don't want to create the content or don't want to come on live shows. Fair enough. But what they can do is go to ONPASSIVE YouTube and just help there and create, because we know ONPASSIVE is going to work for us. It's going to automate our business. So more is exposed to the world, because we are coming. We are newcomers to the market of digital arena, and we have to be known. And to be known, you have to participate on the search engine optimization, as well as the algorithm of the YouTube. We have to take advantage of that. So I always encourage my Somali communities and those around who I know, founders or resellers coming in, to go and do something, comment it and share.
Now, there are some 200, 210 countries represented in memberships of ONPASSIVE founders, and many more coming in because they're now affiliates and users. How can you explain how you have grown your group, your network, to 4,000 or more Somalis that have come in through your influence? What can you say to people about the success techniques or secrets that you used to get the word out? What have you done?
Yeah, as I just said before, Dr. Bill, is first of all, you have to believe yourself. You have to believe yourself. There's more than what's around you. You have, when you believe yourself, and what's next is to take action. Everything, there are opportunities. There are so many opportunities that I myself missed, that I didn't see, and there's always a one around you, whether it's been told by someone, or whether you read through a magazine, or whether you saw on the ad. There's always opportunities around us in human being, and they come around. One comes around, another comes around. So the main thing is, when you see an opportunity, you have to grab it. You have to recognize it and grab it. The other thing is, you have to be not scared or not worry about. You got to be willing to learn new things. As long as the person is willing to learn new things. Of course, success is a journey. Success is not an easy thing, but you have to be able to just go forward and take your time and lean more. Also, the most other important things, Dr. Bill, is you gotta listen. You gotta listen those who are really talking. You're not listening just because it goes here and comes from the other ear, but deep listening of the advantages and what the other person is advising you, encouraging you, and calling to you, not always believing you are, those negative mindsets. So those are the success 3 things I think I will be able to comment.
Absolutely. Now, if you're talking to somebody that doesn't know about ONPASSIVE, what do you tell them? Why should they get involved? Why should they become a user of the product, or why should they become an affiliate to share the good news about ONPASSIVE?
Well, first of all, about ONPASSIVE, it's very clear the value of ONPASSIVE. We're giving a value. You don't have to, one doesn't have to be a rocket scientist to figure it out. The value ONPASSIVE is giving. The value ONPASSIVE is giving is huge. It's tremendous, huge, because we're giving not only a free product that others are selling a huge amount, we also giving those people buy, like O Connect and O Staff and O Tracker. Not only they are better quality, but they are also top of the range and lower price point. So people always follow values. And as our CEO says, wherever value goes, money follows. So for me to convince one, they first have to understand the value. If the person, someone who never know nothing about digital arena, someone who doesn't know where the world is going, someone who doesn't know about, anything about IT or technology, it might be a bit hard to convince. But as for me, I believe, some people recognize also how trustworthy you are. The trustworthiness, because some people, when they're telling opportunities, they just overexcited, and then they say, like, you have to be prepared. Sometimes, the no thing, people say no. So I'm not stressed about what they say, but I just share. Share. And we also know I'm a believer. So if one have the, it's written for him to gain something or gain value or monetary value, regardless, he will jump, regardless whether they jump in the first time or second time or later in time, they will jump. And that's how I share, that's how I believe it, basically from my heart. I just tell them, look, this is a value things, jump in, because success doesn't come just staying over the fence. You have to jump over the fence. You have to take action. Those kind of things. I motivate them and I influence them.
Yeah, I like the quote you said. I think I got it right. Let me make sure I did. Where value goes, money flows.
Mm-hmm.
I like that. That's very right. True. ONPASSIVE is all about value. And once you have the best value, people will flock. Let's talk Absolutely. A little bit about the ideal person to use ONPASSIVE. Who would be the ideal person to show this to?
The ideal person shows to, it's not an individual group or any group, it's everyone. ONPASSIVE is for everyone. Reason being is it's automated, 100% automated, and it's everyone who is willing to change. Some people just want to stick to their normal routine. So it's not for those who, it has to be someone who's really willing to change and want to lean more and want to know where the world is going. You have to understand where the world is going. We are going into digital era, robotics and machine learning and, digital automation and all that. So as long as the person is aware, I always see around people and I just tell them, the product is and the integration and single sign-on and all in one platform. And sometimes I even explain about the Microsoft thing, that the old Word Microsoft Office, how they used to be in a separate, and once they put together, that makes the value all into Office. So having 50 digital products in one platform, it's no brainer. One to take that opportunity and jump in.
That's a good explanation. I tend to tell people the ideal client is anybody who uses email, anybody who uses video conferencing, anybody That's who good. Owns an iPhone or yes. another digital smartphone. If you are one of those people, this is exactly what you want, because we're the next generation of all those things. And because we have the best of all those things, you're going to want to use them. It's advanced because they're all connected together and they're part of the artificial intelligence generation. The old things are not. We are. Mm-hmm. Next question I wanted to ask you about is, how do we find these ideal clients? Now the ideal client's everybody. So question again is, what's the best way to find everybody?
The ideal client is, I think it's for everyone, as you said, but there are some who, they're leveraging the internet, know the value of the internet and the digital areas and all that. And maybe those who are tired, those who are tired from the rat race, those who are tired from, spending their time for money, exchanging their time for money and all that. But also, the ideal client is the one that is really wanted to take advantage what's in front of him or her, if the person doesn't get the, the green light of things, it's not quite right, to push them to anything. But you always share, and and it won't be long before ONPASSIVE really come to, as our CEO say, we're not gonna be a viral in a long time. We come in viral, we're coming in viral, he says. I like that, it's not like we're gonna look for how we're gonna become a viral in 6 months time or 1 year time down the road. ONPASSIVE is coming in as a viral, already we can see the branding and all that. So back to the question again, the ideal client is, those who have a dreams, those who wanted to leave legacy, those who wanted to impact humanity, those who want to have the time freedom, the financial freedom, have the time for your family. The most precious things is for our kids. And we saw, Dr. Bill, we saw that, for me experience, 25 years working in the rat race, most of my kids, about 3 of them, I'm five father of 5, 3 of them have grown without me not able to take time with them, because I'm always not home. And if I'm home, I'm sleeping. And when I wake up, I'm off the door. So the ideal client going to be that person who wants to have the time freedom, so you can have, your family. You can spend the time with your family, with your kids, your loved ones, go on holidays. Those are the clients, who have the vision, who had a dream, basically.
So it sounds to me like you're talking about something that's a bit different. And that clarification would be, we might be the only company that actually pays you to use their products. Is that kind of like the point you're making, is that you can actually have an income from ONPASSIVE based on just using the products?
Absolutely, Dr. Bill. Yeah, we are offering here, the ONPASSIVE is offering hands-free tools, whether you want to use on your daily life to make it easier for your job. If you own a business or if you run anything, you can use ONPASSIVE products to make it easier for your day-to-day job. If you don't have a business or if you don't have anything, then ONPASSIVE can be your business. Basically, by joining in and using the free product like ONET and OTrim and OMEL, which is a top of the range, the new build from the ground and with AI. So that is the free product, and there's more free product coming up. So, and also there is a ones that corporations and governments and institutions need to use. Any small business, big corporations need to use. While they are using, they can also participate on our affiliate system and then get a commission out of what they finally maybe they will have it for free rather than having a monthly subscription. Maybe if they wanted to be participate in the affiliate thing, then it will get to a point where they don't have to pay the subscriptions. So they basically, have it for free, and then still make money.
So the sharing is the part that makes it viral. When people share, it goes viral. When it goes viral, then there's commissions paid to people who actually purchase products, and it flows and goes and everybody wins. I like that.
Absolutely.
Tell us about some of your favorite well-defined products and services that you've heard about that ONPASSIVE has.
I think my favorite, if I go back to this one, there must be a reason why I'm saying this. I think the O+ is a good one, and Academy is also another my favorite. Those are benefits to people, because we know that it's all about humanity and impacting others globally. Education is very important tool when people are enabled, in educational way, and it's really something that the world needs, and it's the industry that has been manipulated by, governments and institutions, So to have it a global platform where everyone have the opportunity to educate in their own language with their AI translation is a phenomenon, and it's a tremendous value to the global education system. O+ is also another heavy tool where we know that whatever it's a tool that you can get your funded by your initiative ideas or NGOs, or it's basically a crowdfunding, but not the typical crowdfunding we know, like a GoFundMe and all these other platforms. It's a business. Those are business. They generate a revenue, and then they take heavy slice of the pie. This all place is basically free of charge. The ONPASSIVE will not be taking a slice of the pie. So it will be a good one for a real cause, to enable others, to enable those who have ideas, those who have innovations and inventions, to give them the opportunity, we know that's a saying. We know the saying that, instead of, what was the saying? Teach them how to fish instead giving the fish, basically, So we're giving them the opportunity, people, to enable them, innovate themselves and found a solution for their needs to prosper, and we are founding members of ONPASSIVE are able to contribute with that cause, and many other people will able to do that. So those two products and many other products that in section we don't even know what's coming. There's so many is coming. So, but those two is the ones that I put into the name now.
It's going to be fun to see them pop in. Every couple of weeks, we'll have a new product once we start launching the first one, O-Connect, and the O-Tracker will come probably this week or so. We're hoping that starts the ball rolling. And so as we go along, we'll have new ones that have already been created that will be released to the public. Tell us about what your thoughts are on how ONPASSIVE is going to crush the competition.
Again, value. Again, value, quality, product. It's going to be the top of the range. When our CEO says, when you started this thing, IT company startup ONPASSIVE, starting anything from the ground, building up from the ground is enabling building that AI machine learning into the system, then integrated all of them at once. It's a huge value, and then you don't have to hop out from one application to another platform, to another email, we know so many corporations and governments are using so many digital platforms with different subscriptions to different companies. So they have to log out from this one and then log out in from this one. And where ONPASSIVE's product will be in one platform, single sign-on, integrated. All you have to do is just click, and you are either you want a video conferencing platform, or you want a human resource product or staff, HR, or whether you want virtual VPN, or anything you want is all in one platform. So ONPASSIVE, no doubt, will crush the competition. On my perspective, what I see is no doubt, because not only it has made many people's life easier and compensate them as well, but it will also something value for money. It's not going to be, because it's not a typical. We all know it's not a typical business. It's not those who wanted to just fill their pockets on themselves. But the whole thing that ONPASSIVE is doing is rewrite the history of business, the books of business. We're rewriting the books of business and how to do business, how to share wealth, and how to really impact us. Because we know when everybody gets what he wants, when everybody is happily and live their own terms, we evolve in goodness and happiness, and society will be a different feeling. No envy, no fighting, no anger, no nothing. Everything will be perfect. And ONPASSIVE is leading that way. And we will hopefully conquer of that poverty and impact many more people.
I do agree with you, Abdi, that hope to the masses, hope for the people who've never had the ability to find success is going to really be there for them in ONPASSIVE. And it's like a dream come true for many people to be able to be involved in something this unique, and it's gonna change the world if you are in it. I got to say it. You got to be in it to win it, and it will change your world. We're talking about changing one person's life at a time. But as you mentioned, you take care of your life, your family, you're going to have something left over with ONPASSIVE, and then you can share it with others. And that's the key, is that there's more than enough. It's an abundance mentality, and that we want to bring this to the world as an opportunity to improve their lot in life. Now, clients or affiliates will be successful, and we will turn users into brand ambassadors. Tell the people, what is the means that people are going to become brand ambassadors, so enthralled with ONPASSIVE that they start sharing the good news with people? What's going to happen? What makes that happen?
What makes happen people, clients into brand? I mean, honestly, when you know what some people don't know, like I remember the saying of, what was his name? The gentleman who owns the Alibaba store. He says, I used to like his reading. He says that when you give I don't think I want to use that. I am not going to use that. I'll go to another line. I don't think that was a proper way to say things like that. But anyway, the brand ambassadors, like we are the brand ambassadors, and those who join us will also see the value, the way things, because it's a different concept altogether, Dr. Bill. And when you realize, I'm getting excited every day. My excitement is heating up every day. I'm not the same excitement level that I was yesterday. Just because things are getting closer or whatever like that, because every time I hear our CEO talks about what's coming and how things will change, that will make me more into really a more believer, more into the core and the value of what ONPASSIVE. There were times I used to think about monetary and me, and things like that. I don't think that way now. I know my life is covered. I know my children's life is covered. I know I will leave that legacy and that family dynasty. I know that. But I'm working on the mindset where I have to create, those ambassadors, as you just said, brand ambassadors, who believe the same, who I can educate them and teach them and show them, this is covered. You are covered, but are you going to be able to also give? Are you able to share the value and the vision of this momentum company that's coming to town? And that's how I see it, creating. And of course, it's going to get more easier when people to realize what we have to offer down the track.
It's so clear, the picture that we have, because we're on the inside. Yes. And the people that are on the outside who've not been involved, or those who have been members but not paid attention, they don't know the whole story. And I think what's exciting and what will turn people into brand ambassadors is when they realize the totality of how big this is. We only know 5-10% of what's going on right now. Behind the scenes, there's more development, more potential that will be part of our story. And so the story is not a single book, it's an entire encyclopedia. And the details are coming out. And when people realize it, they will be shouting to the rafters about how excited they are to be part of the ONPASSIVE story. And it's the story that's exciting. Hey, Abdi, I want to ask you about, what are you grateful for today?
Thank you, Dr. Bill. That's a good question. I'm grateful I'm alive. I'm grateful I'm healthy. I'm grateful I'm part of this movement that will change lives. I'm grateful that I met you. I'm grateful that I share the vision of ONPASSIVE to my people that will have a lot of impact. And I'm really, I'm grateful for life in general, and I'm happy. I'm excited and I'm happy. I'm so grateful, Dr. Bill.
You know, it's good that I met you and that I got associated with, by extension, 4,000 Somalis. I never would have met 4,000 Somalis in my life, but I've been on
True.
your webinars. I have interacted with many of the people in your sphere. And so, you know, anytime that we can impact others around the world, it's a good day. So, speaking of a good day, how did you start your day?
Well, every day I get up and I thank God that I'm still alive. I go do my ablution and wudu, we call wudu, and then I pray. And I pray to God that He gave me the life I have, and still praying to give me more time so I can impact more people and you know, work so hard. You know, I remember one of the really wording that I hear our CEO says that I never forgot is that he says he's working so hard so he can go to heaven. Means, you know, when you're impacting, when you give and share and give and give and give, trying to solve as many problems, we're here for test, we're here for a reason. So the time we're passing by here is we have to really give that as much as we can. If we have to give, we have to give. So I'm really happy that I'm alive, I'm healthy, and you know, and being a father, God gave me a kids and happy life, and I live in a peaceful country, you know, and I don't go hungry a day. You know, there are so many trouble around the world that, you know, people don't even have the decent life, you know, or clean water. So I'm really appreciative. I'm thankful. So the most important things I do when I wake up in the morning, I say, praise be to God. I have another day.
Absolutely. I got up this morning and did my 2-mile walk with my friend Mohammed Sadiq. He's from Pakistan, but he lives here in Atlanta, Georgia, and we walk most every morning. And so that's our morning routine, to get up and get going. And then I come home and have breakfast with my family. Let's see if I can get you to talk about the next thing, the advice that you would give you if you could talk to your 20-year-old self now.
Wow. Well, that's when I came to Australia, 20 years of age, no speaking English, no have a family guidance or advice, on my own, one-way ticket, 1 month visa, and $100 in my pocket. I landed in Sydney International Airport. I wish I knew many things, but you know, at that time, but after all these years, what I will advise is I mean, even though I don't have the advice that like no parents or mentors to give me, to guide me to the whatever way life takes me. But as I said before, I was the street cleaner, I was self-educator, and I was not scared to try everything. So I survived it. But then of course, we're human beings, we make mistakes, we make wrong decisions many times. There are sometimes I was not right, but if I want to give advice to myself, and when I was 20 years of age, I would say lean more, listen more, and you know, and listen more to people and advices, because there were many times that people advised me and I didn't take seriously, which my kids sometimes don't do now. You know, I take my 22 years old son, I give him advice and he says yes, 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 but when I see him the next day, he's not quite right. So I won't surprise him, because I was the same. But if I were to go back to my 20 years of age, I would say I wish I would have listened more advices from the people that was older than me, you know, and always go and be friendly with those who are more higher in education wise and experience wise. So I will advise everyone who's probably, I don't think there's anyone younger 20 years of age now, but you know, that's what I would advise myself.
After you came to Australia when you were about 20, why don't you have an Australian accent?
Good question. I surprised. We have a Somali communities in the United States, many Somali communities, and I've seen some who had American accent. And I asked that question myself. I said, how come I did not have the Australian dialect? It's a question I couldn't find an answer to it. Even though I learned the English here, I never knew English. I was used to do something called East African bookshop, like book 1, book 2, like how to read a little bit, but I was not able to speak. But I was a few understanding words. But yeah, it's a good question. But even the new Somali generations who born here in Australia, we were talking about one of my friends the other night. He wasn't my friend. He was just someone that somehow we connected and we carried conversation. He asked me, "Are you Somali?" And I said, "Yes, I'm Somali. What about you?" I'm Somali too. So even though he was a young man, he wasn't born here, but he came as a young man. He goes to school here. He went to uni here. And then I was the old fella. And then we were talking, and then that conversation came up. How come we don't have the Australian accent? That was last night. How come we don't have the Australian accent? He didn't have the Australian accent. And I said, no, it's not only you. Even my kids don't have the Australian accent. And we all agree that it's a new dialect. They call Somali Australian accent.
Well, we love our Australian friends, and just because you don't have the accent doesn't mean it's a bad thing. Let me ask you about being impactful. Why do you want to be impactful? Why is it important to you?
That's a really good question. Even though I don't really recall many great things of people impacting me, but I can recall right now that really ONPASSIVE is fishing, and my involvement with ONPASSIVE has really impacted me. And because of that, it's so important for me that it impact others as well. That's why I took the action to reach my fellow Somalis. That's why I went to a paid ad on Facebook to, I couldn't reach, because with diasporas or even back home, we're all over the place and everyone's just, going to their Facebook news feed. So that's why I put onto the platform on Facebook and said, let's go. Who ever have the vision and, and the dream to go live in successful, come and join us. So I'm glad I did that. It was very important for me that I did that. I wish that, because I stopped the ad while it was going up, while people were registering on their emails onto the funnel, I stopped the ad, and I wish I couldn't stop it, but I didn't know, because they were not continuing to activate the account. They were only just receiving, not because, I don't know what the reason was. Maybe they didn't have the fun, or maybe they didn't have the knowledge to continue, because you have to be a techie to know the next step. When you put your email and then it shows you that pop up, some of them don't have the credit card to use the card. So there were many reasons I couldn't figure it out, why there's so many people, like 10 a day, 20 a day, people were registering on their emails as a pending. But I didn't figure it out, why were they not activating the account. So I said, there's no point. When I get about 300, 2 different ads, 300 registration, only probably 2-3 people paid on their own. So it was really impactful. Now I realize we use that 300 registration, we get more people later on, and maybe those ones were not their lucky days, or maybe they were not nothing for them. Maybe they will come and join us later when they realize. But I'm glad the 300 registration were used, and they are now founders. And yeah, so that was really important for me, that I have impacted over 4,000 Somali people who are really excited and looking forward to the next phase of our success.
It's going to make a big difference with the entire country when those 4,000 start to get into the oblast, get into the product line, get into impacting people through the viral nature of ONPASSIVE. It's going to be great for Somalia. Abdi, what do you want to be remembered for when it's all said and done?
Well, what I wanted to be remembered is that I was that man who, you know, have a good life and really was the key and sharer and influencer of Somalis of many generations to come, who successfully have the time freedom, financial freedom, happiness in their life. And I want to be remembered that way. And I also want to be remembered as just a humble guy, a father of five who loves his kids, and always want to give a hand those who need us a hand. I always share my thoughts. I'm a straightforward person. I don't hide and I don't do anything. I just a humble guy. And actually, one of my uncle told me when I was about 16, I think, or 17 years of age before I came here. When the kids are young, they make too much trouble and they fight and all that. He said, Abdi, I never heard anyone come to our house and said, Abdi did this to me. I never heard anything. You were always been a good kid. I said, oh, thank you. So I want to be remembered as a man who really have done what the purpose of coming here for, the world we live in today. And I hoping that, my God pleased with me when I go back in other life hereafter.
Well, your reputation precedes you. That's obvious. Tell us how we can, people that are looking to connect with you, how can they connect with you? Where can they find your contact information?
Yeah, Dr. Bill, I'm a social media man. I recently started a YouTube channel, and I also have a TikTok account, but I'm more into Facebook user. I'm more Facebook page. I have a Facebook page followers, and my normal profile also have about 5,000. Another one have a 6 or 7,000 on the page. But yeah, I have a few different. I have all the social media, but you can't use all of them. You're always gonna go more into one than the other one. So I'm more into a Facebook kind of guy, whether it's a page or profile, main profile. But I'm leaning into the YouTube now, since our CEO say we're gonna hang around with YouTube. It's a very heavy algorithm. It's a strong platform. It's not going nowhere, and I'm trying to push that. And I'm educating right now. I'm learning how to create a content on YouTube. Whether it's a podcasting or whether it's a videos. But I'm a busy father working 12 hours a day, trying to mentor the community and answering questions, and so many messages coming into my WhatsApp. So really being busy is very hard to, but I do one thing at a time, and I take my time, and I'm a good learner. I'm a quick learner too. I'm a quick learner. As I said before, I'm a self-educated, street-educated man. So I'm learning how to create content on YouTube and getting serious on it.
Which is harder, managing 5 boys or the entire Somali community?
Uh, the kids are in the pain in the ass, but the Somalians are not less anyway. But they're good. But the good thing about Somalians, like they ask you, because the problem is about not knowing, and you have to be able to. We have two webinars a week. Fridays and Wednesdays. Somebody told me you bump in the other night on our webinar, but I didn't notice you. You came in and go, but yeah, we do that. Thank to some of our leaders. Thanks to Sister Nafisa Abdi, Mahmoud Siad, Fardous, Muhammad Wadi. I really appreciate those who are step up. They come up over the course and then willing to help. It's not only me. It's not a one-man show. And those who are listening, sisters and brothers within the community, wanted to come out, and whatever and have a question, you can answer it. We have about 5 different WhatsApp groups, and so many new ones are coming that have no idea what's ONPASSIVE is all about. So we're asking them all the help we can get. Yeah.
How would you like to express? How was your experience here on our show today, other than having the internet Wi-Fi glitch?
It was excellent, Dr. Bill. It was always excellent to have you. Yeah, I really enjoy today. I think I have you know, come out of my comfort zone to give my idea of, you know, how I feel, and all the questions that you asking me was really good questions. And, you know, I really like the interaction, and I hope there's so many people learn more about me and what I share with you today. And I'm so grateful that you have me here today. And I'm looking forward to come back again on the Influencers podcast.
Yeah, just think about it. You know, everything doesn't always go smoothly in life, just like getting started, just like the
Yes,
glitch with the Wi-Fi. But we
yes,
persevere, and if we continue to show up and we don't drop out when things get bad, look how well they
right.
turn out. And that's a good
Beautiful. Yes.
metaphor for the whole process of sticking with the thing and seeing it to the end. I'm going to give you the
Right.
final word, then I'll come back and speak, but I'm going to let you have.
Yes, thank you, Dr. Bill. It's really, you know, the moments that I have here, it's the moments, the best moment of my life. And I really enjoy of being on passive. And not because that I finally found my journey in life is been coming to fruition, but I also really excited that in the years to come, in the years to come, many, many more years to come, that this name and this life and what I created and what ONPASSIVE created is going to be really very impactful to many people. And I'm really grateful that, you know, that I finally found it, the journey, that not only that I'm here now, but after when I leave, that there will be a talking point after me that this was a really successful life of my life. And I'm also asking everyone who's listening in the platform to, you know, join ONPASSIVE. ONPASSIVE is a movement of changing humanity, a movement of changing rules of businesses, of how to share, you know, the life we have here. We are only here for transit. We are only here a short period. So we have to use our potential not only to help each other, but to support each other and really lean more for what we experience everyday life.
Well, there you have the words of Abdi Alasso, wise, poignant, and to the point. Thank you for sharing with us all that good information. And I'd like to tell everybody that if you want to connect more with us, you can go to the QR code or to the digital business card address I have here. And on that business card, you're going to find two things. One is my website that can lead you to being on the Influencers podcast. It has all the previous sessions of the Influencers podcast. We have maybe 50 or 60 different podcasts that we've done to date that are all there, all different topics, all different people of different walks of life giving us their best. You can also find information about ONPASSIVE on my OTrim, and Abdi has his links. Everybody gets a ability to shorten their URL and have a custom URL when you have the membership in ONPASSIVE. Again, membership in ONPASSIVE is free. OTrim is free. OMail is free. ONet is free. There's much to be had for no cost. I'm always excited to tell people that the OTracker is the analytical device for all websites to know who's looking at your website. And so you definitely, if you're in business, you want to get OTracker. And you can get that from anybody that's in ONPASSIVE. And it's going to be the best value in town. So if you want freedom, you can capture your freedom by going to the QR code related to ONPASSIVE. Hey, Abdi, thanks for being on our show today. Thanks for standing tall when the internet went out and coming back. It takes somebody that's strong to put up with the internet that doesn't always work. And your answers, your point of view was well received all around the world. I've been getting comments of seeing people saying that was pretty good. And we are looking forward to many more days like this in ONPASSIVE with you guys. So all your Somali community, I want to say hello and thanks for Abdi.
I think it's going to. I think it's going on again. But yeah, thank you very much, Dr. Bill. I appreciate it. Thanks for having me, and we will do it again.
All right, we'll do it again. That's the final word from Abdi Alasso. See you guys on the next Influencers podcast.
Okay.